Good morning, everybody, and welcome back to my channel. I am very happy you've joined me. I have to tell you that I realized I could not do this as a live video because I usually sit in front of a computer. But because I promised you a live video, today at 3 o'clock, I'm going to show you the major Goodwill haul that I did earlier this morning. But without further ado, I would like to show to you my new sewing room. So, I'm going to try not to make you guys seasick, but here is the vintage Singer sewing machine. And if you can see, I've taken all the thread down. So I'm going to try and hang this TV so I can open up this sewing machine because I love displaying it because it's so beautiful. And here is the hat that I started last summer that's now officially finished. Isn't that awesome? Yay. It only took me a year. Ignore this, we are a work in progress, but this is my new sewing room. And this is the piece de resistance. So this was a rather ugly, dark, wooded, dark paneled entertainment center from the probably late 90s, early 2000s. I want to give you guys a close-up of this beautiful peel and stick that I got off Amazon on clearance. I got it for like $4.88. I know, it's crazy, right? I still have some left over. So I painted this, as you can see. I painted it with, it's called Chalked. I got it at Walmart. It was about, I don't know, like 30 bucks a can. I ended up needing 2 cans. And the color is called Bisque. There is the button collage. I'll go over everything a little bit slowly so I can explain it. There's the button collage. There's my collection of probably very racist Oriental pincushions. This is the Lord & Taylor box, which now has lace in it. These I curb surfed. The woman was putting them out and I said, "Oh, are you getting rid of this?" And she goes, "Oh yeah, they were in my bathroom. They're, take them." So I took them. They're full of ribbon. There's my vintage sewing bin, which I now have everything that's kind of really vintagey from like the 1940s in there. There is the Barbie, non-branded Barbie sewing machine for little girls. This is a haul dinnerware. It is full of pincushion tomatoes. My dog, of course, has to make noise because he was just ignoring me for hours. And 2 darning eggs that I have. These are the kind with the handles. This is yarn, and I can tell you all of this yarn is from Goodwill. And of course, I got more today, so you'll see that later. And then this is also yarn that I got out of Goodwill that's still in the container, and they still sell it at Walmart. I'm going to go get another one of them because I may be able to actually make something out of that. This is just another one of these porcelain containers with balled yarn and a little extra yarn. Here is all my collection of Gertie pattern books. This is all my really luxe fabric. So these are Merino wools, this amazing, I don't even know what to call this fabric. To me, it feels like some type of a silk, and then some brocade. If we go down here, we have a little collection of vintage sewing supplies. This I put out because all of these little spools are silk yarn. Silk thread. I don't know if you could still use them, but they're just so beautiful. Down here we have a collection of buttons with some these little hand-sewn bags. There's my best friend Erin. There's some marbles. Here's my sewing machine. We'll move this back a little bit. I just realized it's hanging over the edge. And then this is the lovely, this I pulled out of Goodwill a couple years ago. It's so beautiful, and you never see them for cheap anymore. I got that really cheap. I don't think I could find it cheap. There are the ladies. Yeah, I had to pay homage to the ladies because, if you're going to have like an aspirational video or aspirational picture, there it is. And then we have just a scented candle, just to make everything smell better. We have our vintage jar that has things that are not sewing supplies that were found in patterns and sewing bins. Here's some of my cotton fabrics. Remember this entire bolt that I got from Goodwill for like $5.99? More cotton. This is a really nice rayon fabric that I got from Joann's years ago, well before they were going to close. And then these over here are some of my muslin fabrics, and these are some fusible interfacings. These are just bric-a-brac, rick-a-rack, whatever you want to call it, and some like, well, they're really like trims, but they're really cool. I just use them for inspiration. Then here's some patterns I need to put up online. A vintage thing of sewing needles. These are vintage thread in vintage mason jars, vintage buttons and vintage hoops in vintage mason jars. A couple more books. These books are more on quilting and non-garment sewing. Here's my small collection of Singer booklets. I'm always trying to collect these. This is this beautiful peach pitcher. You can see it's got a handle. I was going to put it in the antique shop that I'm now part of, but it's got a really serious chip right here, and it's so gorgeous, right? Okay, so then what do we have down here? Again, don't want to make you seasick. Down here I have all my fabrics. So these are all my knits and apparel fabrics and some patterns. These are all my wools. I have the wools behind the glass because I'm trying to keep predators out of them. That bin down there is a cloth bin I got off Amazon, and it has all my light colors and whites. And then this is the majority of my apparel fabrics in here that I will use for whatever. These are the knobs I also got off Amazon. I replaced the existing knobs because they were just ugly. I mean, they were kind of like dark metal. The whole thing was very early 2000s. If any of you remember the early 2000s, remember everything was espresso, right? Like when you watch the home improvement shows, it was like, we're going to put in espresso cabinets in your kitchen. So it'll be so dark. It'll be like a morgue or a coffin. Yeah, that's pretty much the color that this was. And by the way, most of this thing is wood. This whole back piece here is all particle board, so I had to kind of reinforce it a little bit. I had to use some tape. There was a hole routed out for your wires, so I had to tape that up a little bit. All right, we go over here. Like I said, work in progress. Here is more. Here are all of my measuring tapes, because I have so many. I only ever really use this one, though. This one is the longest one. It's a 6-foot measuring tape, so it's a little bit longer than the others. Here's some more fabric for muslins. All of these, by the way, on the rolls, I got at a Goodwill. Okay, we remember Irma. Remember when I got that fabric that was gifted to me by my neighbor? In it was an almost completed skirt, so I put it on Irma, and it somehow matches the vest that was being worked on by the woman that I got patterns from in Pennsylvania. And then also, here's this belt that was in with something else. And I was like, oh, I have a whole outfit, and it's all salvage stuff. And then if we come over here, I moved this collage over to here. And over here we have just a view of the parking lot of my apartment complex. I have all my Taylor hams, or as we call them, pork rolls. And now the biggest change. I built for myself this monstrosity of a desk. Yes, this is, again, try not to make you guys seasick. So you can see, here's my crocheting caddy. Here's one of my tool caddies. That is for thread. Here's my small tool caddy. Then I have my cutting surface here. We're gonna try and keep this as a secret. I got these today at Goodwill. We'll look at them later. Here's my cutting mat. These are some dresses I said I would hem for my neighbor. There's one of my old sewing bins that I kept. And then if you pull out, you can see. So this is a standing desk that is adjustable height. That Alpha system, remember I picked that up at Goodwill for about, I don't know, $9 years ago. It fits right under it. And then on this side, I have not finished it, but this has a drawer and it has 2 cabinets. You can actually see the 2 cabinets are sitting right there. The reason I haven't finished it is it's really hard to do this I built this all by myself with really no help. A guy that I worked with, Joe, did come over and he tried to help me, but we didn't have enough time to really work on it. Shout out to Joe. He said he occasionally watches my videos. So, hey, Joe, thanks for trying to help. I finally got it all figured out, but I literally had bruises on my legs from trying to build this thing. It's like IKEA on steroids. And it's very hard to build things when you're a single woman or a single person and you're all by yourself. Oh, here's my new trash can, which needs to be emptied, that I pulled out of the garbage right here in my apartment complex, and it was brand new. It had what looked like talcum powder in it, and that was it. This is my little station for packaging. Here's the collage that used to be on the other wall. It's up here now. And I redid, are you ready, guys? This is my moment of shame. I redid the storage for my fabric. And yet, I won't even show it to you. There's 2 boxes in the hall of fabric that I haven't even dealt with yet. But here is all my fabric. So I have it all in bins. I have some of the quilting novelty fabrics. I have some other quilting stuff up here. I have some purple fabric and some purple quilting fabric. I might actually try to quilt, and if I do, this is what I'm going to start with. And it's just all fabric. This is all fabric that I don't even know if I'm going to use. It's just fabric that I have, which is sad when you think about it, except this piece. I definitely want to make something out of this. This is a knit. I really like this. But, okay, so this is a giant bag full of scraps. And then that's it. And there's my beautiful dog. Hi, sweetie. And so I'm going to try and get you a good angle. But this is my new sewing room. And because I promised you a live video and I realized I couldn't do this as a live video, I'll still do a live video this afternoon. I'll show you guys all the stuff I got from Goodwill today. They had a $20% discount code that they sent out to everybody. And down in the notes, you will see a link to Stephanie Canada's video. I guess great minds, or maybe it's chaotic minds, think alike. She also redid her sewing space. So I will put that video down below. And until this afternoon at 3, where I will show you what I got from Goodwill, have a great day. Enjoy your holiday, and I will see you soon. Bye.